Alex, Anthony Albanese has not ruled out further sanctions on members of Israel's parliament. Here he was speaking earlier today in New Zealand.
Have you ruled out further sanctions?
No, we make decisions and we never foreshadow any of those measures. But sometimes it's just a slogan. I mean, sanctions, I've done this before at a press conference. Which sanctions are you talking about? People aren't clear. What we need to do here is to have very clear statements and actions by the Australian government that make a difference.
Alex, Australia previously imposed sanctions on 2 Israeli ministers. Now, with the Prime Minister increasingly looking to recognise Palestine, how confident are you that sanctions won't be imposed?
Well, look, there was nothing in the Prime Minister's remarks there that foreshadowed sanctions, but then it's a bit of a bet both ways, because on the one hand, he's saying that these can't just be used as political slogans. We hear at the rallies constant chants for the sanctioning of Israel, but at the same time, he didn't say no. And when you look at government foreign policy at the moment with regards to Israel, they say some things which kind of give us comfort. They talk about the necessity of defeating Hamas, that Hamas can play no future role in the governance of the Palestinian territories, and the need to rescue the hostages or for them to be released. But then when that all adds up, for some reason, the government concludes that the correct path on the basis of those statements is recognition of a Palestinian state, to take punitive measures against Israel and to reward historic Palestinian intransigence and more recent extreme violence. So you kind of wonder where Australian foreign policy is going. And, you know, you have all these statements which go this way and that way, but the end result always seems to be to punish Israel more and more and move away from the partnership with the US and the friendship with Israel. And I think as a country, we're going to suffer for it. I think the Prime Minister needs to explain how these measures are foremost in the national interest, why it suits Australians to take punitive measures against a country which benefits Australia so much in terms of military hardware and intelligence and technology, rather than the Palestinians who really provide us with very little.
Benjamin Netanyahu has outlined his plans for Gaza, saying, and I'm quoting the Israeli Prime Minister, "We're not going to occupy Gaza, we're going to free Gaza from Hamas. Gaza will be demilitarised and a peaceful civilian administration will be established. This will help free our hostages and ensure Gaza does not pose a threat to Israel in the future." Alex, at the same time, our Foreign Minister, Penny Wong, has warned Israel could be in breach of international law if it goes through with this. She told The Guardian Australian calls on Israel to not go down this path, which will only worsen the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. Permanent forced displacement is a violation of international law. Here's my issue. It's easy to be critical of Benjamin Netanyahu's plan, but what irritates me is that Penny Wong and co never come up with a reasonable alternative. Hamas has shown they can't be negotiated with, as evidenced by the fact they're now saying they won't release hostages until after a Palestinian state has been declared, and they want Jerusalem as their capital. So, by all means, criticise Benjamin Netanyahu, but if you can't come up with a better solution, then what are the options?
Look, it's true. And the other problem with those statements is, you know, the Prime Minister talks about the illegality of permanent forced displacement. Who spoke about permanent forced displacement? The Prime Minister of Israel is talking about the military defeat of Hamas in the remaining pockets in which it's entrenched, which accords with the initially stated aims of the Israeli military for this just war, which is to rescue the hostages and to defeat Hamas.